The command, "You shall not steal," when viewed in the context of the entire Bible's teaching on stewardship, implies that God created us not merely to survive, but to achieve much and to flourish on the earth. Through these stewardship responsibilities, we have unlimited potential for glorifying God through discovery, creation, production, distribution, and thankful use of potentially unlimited material and intellectual resources. In addition, ownership of property is important because it motivates people to create, invent, and produce because they have hope of keeping and enjoying what they earn. Therefore, the ownership of property implied by the Eighth Commandment is essential for human flourishing. God in his wisdom gave a command that laid the foundation for human flourishing throughout all ages of human existence on the earth, and it is anchored in the protection of private property. Fourth, the immense challenge of the Eighth Commandment. As Peter Lilbach indicated to us so eloquently this afternoon, obeying the Eighth Commandment rightly is immensely challenging. Only someone made in the image of God could ever hope to obey this commandment, and even those redeemed by Christ never obey it fully in this age. Now, you might be thinking, what do you mean? I'm not a shoplifter, I'm not an embezzler or a thief, I don't cheat on my taxes, I think I've been obeying the commandment, "You shall not steal." But have you been a faithful steward of all your talent and time and possession? To exercise faithful stewardship is challenging because it requires immense wisdom and mature judgment in the complex balancing of multiple factors, such as love of neighbor, care for one's family, wise planning for the future, desire to advance God's kingdom, desire to subdue the earth for the glory of God, and freedom to enjoy what God richly furnishes us for our enjoyment. I used to think there might be simple answers for how much I should spend, how much should I save, how much should I give away. I no longer think there are simple answers. I think they are there are complex answers that are unique to each individual because they require such an incredibly challenging balancing of multiple obligations. Grateful stewardship in obedience to the Eighth Commandment is also challenging because it requires avoiding the temptations and sins such as gluttony, greed, selfishness, materialism, waste, laziness, apathy, and false asceticism. The stewardship requirements implied by the Eighth Commandment are also lifelong. They begin in childhood with the responsibility to care for one's toys and small responsibilities, and the obligations continue until the day of our death when we must make wise choices regarding the disposition of any goods that we leave behind. So, who among us can say from his heart, I know that I've always made wise stewardship decisions. I know that God is pleased with judicial allocation of my funds between giving and investing and saving and using for my own enjoyment. Who can say I've truly been a wise steward of all the intellectual, creative, artistic, and managerial opportunities and the abilities that God has entrusted to me? I doubt that any living person could honestly say that today. And in fact, 1 John 1:8 says, if we say we have no sin, we deceive ourselves, and the truth is not in us. Therefore, the challenge of the Eighth Commandment is immense. Hidden within the simple words, "You shall not steal," we discover the infinite wisdom of God. We discover a system of private ownership of property, of stewardship, and an expectation that we would achieve much and flourish as we live on the face of the earth.